The Pulse with Andy Blake, presented by Coca-Cola in association with BSP Life and supported by Fiji Link, Fiji Airways and Captain Cook Cruises Fiji.
Bula, welcome to The Pulse. I'm your host, Andy Blake. If you're just joining me for the first time, welcome to my new show where throughout the season, we will profile interesting guests, SMEs, tourism and attractions, travel, food, including local culture. So, fasten your seatbelts and prepare to take flight with me right here on my TV. On the show this week, our Eat, Stay, Love postcard from Rakiraki's Golden Point Resort. Our profile on Bar's popular sweet shop, Bavish Sweets. And later, we head to Sacred Island in the Mamanucas with Captain Cook Cruises Fiji for our culture exposed. Propelling our show this evening, we meet former Olympian and decorated Fijian swimmer, Sharon Pickering Smith. She began her swimming career when she represented Fiji at the 1984 Olympic Games in Los Angeles, where she competed in a total of 5 events.
Hi, my name is Sharon Smith. I'm a Fiji swimming coach, and yeah, that's my job and that's what I do. I've been called some funny names. Basically, it's Shazza. Or Shaz. A few people still call me Shazza, like the few Aussie friends that I have. So, but otherwise it's just Sharon. Yeah, I think it's short enough to be called Sharon as a coach. Okay. Well, like this morning, I got up and 4:45. I brushed my teeth, got ready. I put the coffee on, then I put a load of washing on, and then I'm at the pool at 5:30. Every morning until about 7:15. Then I go home. If there's no house girl, I hang the clothes and I do the housework. Then I have some little 3-year-olds that I teach how to swim. So I also do private lessons as well. But my mornings is always up early. If I have a day off or morning off, I still get up early and I go for a walk with my husband. So I'm just an early person and I get as much as I can out in the morning. Yeah, that's how my day goes before 12. Then I have a nana nap and then I'm back at the pool in the afternoons. So basically it's just every morning I'm up. I'm in bed as early as 8 because it's a tiring day. If I go to bed any later, so some mornings I wake up and I'm like, it's really hard, but once I get to the pool, I think it's like my safe place and, it's my job, obviously, and I just love the kids, elite, and just, have a conversation with them. Then I coach them. I can get a bit tough if I want to, and I'm there for that hour and a half, 2 hours with them, and then back home it's just a different atmosphere, different routine, so. Okay, I was born in Lautoka in 67. Born in Lautoka 1967 until I was about 5. And then my dad got a job in Suva, so we moved over and that's where I've been since. My dad's Pickering, so he's from Rewa. My mom's Hicks from Kulukulu, Singatoka. And my mom's Samoan and her dad is Englishman, and my dad's mom is Tongan, and his dad was Fijian. So I've just got a mixture of island blood. So I would say that I would be from Rewa, being a Pickering. I'm married into a Smith. They're from Savu Savu. So so I spent most of my growing up days in Suva. Yeah.
What school did you go?
Oh, sorry. I was in Dras Avenue for year 1 and 2. Then when we moved to Suva, I went to Viota Primary and then on to Suva Grammar. So, ex-grammar. I think I just love challenges and I love training and I love keeping fit. As most people who know me now, I continue doing it. I almost drowned when I was 8 years old, and it was at the Viota pool. Thinking that I could swim, and I just jumped in. And an expat friend who I became very good friends with, the daughter, all these expats, there were a lot of expats in our days, going to grammar and to Viota, and they did swimming lessons for us. So Mrs. Shearer, Norma Shearer, she actually taught me how to swim. We did school swimming lessons. So I was 8, turning 9, and by the time I was 11, I was the school champion. So I think it was something that I love to do, and I could do after I learned how to swim. And I just love racing, and I love training. So I think what really inspired me is the fact that I was able to just do it, and with no effort, because I just liked waking up early in the morning, go training, after school do the same thing. So what inspired me also is that I had parents who were there but not there, like they wouldn't be on the pool deck, and which you have parents now. So they were there helping me emotionally and physically and just financially. Just having my parents and my family support me right from a younger age. They'd give me encouragement. I remember one year I was in a swimming competition. I had 15 events in 2 days, and my dad was almost crying, saying, "Daughter, you can't do this." But I did it, and so they basically encouraged but didn't push me, only because I just love doing it. So I think it's something that, whether it was in my blood or not, but I just, and I'm still doing it now. So, and both my sisters swam as well. They were competitive swimmers. My sister Dawn, who lives in New Zealand, she represented Fiji. So I think, and both my parents were hockey players, and they both like to swim. So I think we're just a sporting family. Okay, so I was 11, turning 12 was my first major competition. That was in 1979. We had South Pacific Games back then, that's what it was called. And that was held in Suva. And that's another nickname I had, was Fat Albert, because I was a little chubby. I mean, you wouldn't call any child that now, but I remember Mark Sorby, he gave me that nickname because I was a small little chubby girl just following all the older kids around, and I didn't care. So 1979 was my first major competition. That's the same year my sister Dawn was on the team. And then I went, I think I did 3 or 4 specific games. So 3 South Pacific Games. Commonwealth Games, I swam in 2. 1982 was my first, and then 86. Olympic Games, I swam in 3 Olympic Games. My first was in LA, 1984. Then Seoul, Korea in 88, and 92 was in Barcelona. That was my last one. Oceania Games, I swam in a couple. So I've done quite a lot of international competitions as well as regional, where we did a lot of nationals we went to Hawaii, we went to Tahiti, went to New Caledonia, so we did a lot of national events as well. So I did it for over 20 years, and I'm still involved with the sport now. So those are my achievements as far as swimming. In doing so, I got Sportswoman of the Year twice, 87 and 92. That was after the Pacific Games. 87, I won 2 gold, 2 silver, and 2 bronze. So I think that was just an achievement. in itself that year, and I got inducted into the Hall of Fame in 2007. For the Pacific Games, those are the ones that, and I think Oceania, I won like 4 silvers, and Pacific Games, 2 gold, a lot of silvers, because 91 I had a Tahitian swimmer, Diane, who we had raced into the wall and finished together, but it was the one who touched the wall the hardest. So I was like the bridesmaid. I won 7 silver medals from offer. So yeah, a few silver medals that year and a couple of bronze. I don't know how many in total, yeah. So yeah, a few medals in the Pacific. So, and I held the backstroke records in '87. Well, definitely having to have gone to 6 Olympic Games. You know, I actually, after Tokyo last year, I sat down and people asked me how many games, and I think it's just being involved with the sport, and you know, it's not so much the number of Olympics, but the way I went about it. You know, representing swimming in the sport for 3 years, and then being the coach in the same sport for the 3 years after. Yeah, and I think that's pretty unreal in a good way. Obviously, what's yeah, just something you kind of think back, and I don't really like to talk about myself, so just sitting back after Tokyo is like, wow, I've achieved all this. I think the next person in Fiji is Carl Probert, so from the same sport. So I think swimming as a minor sport, we've done pretty well in Fiji, and yeah, I think that's pretty unreal. I've done a lot, you know, with the years of swimming, and I'm still involved with it. So you know, I've got 3 beautiful children, and what's behind me and which I'm proud of is my older boy. He's you know, he's got a job in Australia now, and you know, was to see him get married, and you know, just that's a personal side of things, is just seeing my family grow, and of course grow in the sense we're getting in-laws, you know, daughter-in-law now, and just being proud of the fact that, you know, all our hard work, even how busy I was with my swimming, I still was able to, you know, get my family goes first, and I was able to do both. And on the personal side is just getting my qualifications. I mean, I'm still learning, and I mean, just last year I got my gold license through Australia Swimming. So, you know, doing that and studying and just throwing everything in, I thought I had stopped, you know, schoolwork. But yeah, and then I'm now doing a course through University of Delaware. You know, just doing something besides the coaching side of things, and you know, and I think as a matured student, I'm enjoying it very much. So yeah, putting behind was just finishing off my gold, which I did last year, and you know, not in a bad way, but just seeing my son, my older boy, off, married, got a job, and you know, so I know I've got 2 more to help out. So yeah, I mean, it doesn't stop, you know. So passionate in other means of sport. I love golf. Took it up. My mum was a golf player. She represented Fiji in golf as well. So just being her caddy, and then moved on to me hitting a few balls. So now, when we traveled a bit with my husband, the family, started playing golf in Samoa and Vanuatu, and then I've come back, and you know, I'd like to have played more golf since I've been back in Fiji, but just really busy. So I'm going to find the time and just play more golf. Passionate, I like spending time with my grandnieces, so I do a lot of that, and just do babies and learn to swim. That's something I really enjoy. People think I'm crazy, but you know, it's something that makes me happy. It's just to teach little kids swimming, not so much the older ones. Well, not so much on social media. I don't know if Fiji Times and Fiji Sun back in my days. I remember when I was 17, 18, I kind of went off the rail a bit. started drinking and having a good time. This is the end of my school years. I'd come back from one of the, I think it was the Olympics. Anyway, so, and you found boys and, as you do. Not a lot of it though. And I think I had put on like 10, 15 kilos. And I said to my coach, I didn't want to swim. Give me a break, which is quite often now that kids do. They have a bit of a break from the sport. And it was really funny where I looked in the mirror one day and I said, I'm really not enjoying this. And my clothes couldn't fit and I was feeling really yuck. So within 6 months, I called my coach, Mr. Peterson, and said, what do you reckon? He said, I've been waiting for you. So he worked on me really hard, just trying to get my weight off, and I did extra running. And so within the I lost more than 10 kilos, but I was still carrying a bit of weight, and I needed to try and qualify for the 87 Pacific Games. It was still a year. And so I dived in, and while I was diving in, the Fiji Times took a photo of me and said some nasty things about, a bit overweight, wonder if she can do it. So, I mean, it hurt then, but when you think about it now, how funny it is, because who would say that, I mean, if you had to put that in social media now, you'd be slammed. Just the comments that they say. So I sit back and I laugh. I think I still got the clip at home, because I used to keep the Fiji Time clipping. To date, I don't think there's anything funny, just a few jokes from my senior swimmers, but it makes me laugh, but it's nothing nasty or mean as in our days. I think everyone's very, although you do hear some bad media coverages and just some comments, which is you're just supposed to just go through anyway and just ignore. But I don't think I've had anything bad or funny or makes me laugh about me. Definitely, well, my family, inspires me to continue to do what I love. Of course, my husband, he's always encouraging, and my kids at some stage, Mom, you're doing too much, blah, 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 but they figured that swimming is my life and I will continue doing it. What inspires me is they're just having positive people around, and which helps you as a person. You obviously got a few negative people, but if you can brush that off. But yeah, inspires me is just having positive attitude and just friends. Yeah, it just keeps me going. 90s was the year. Well, definitely 1 year before 90, I met my husband. So we started dating for 5 years, and then we decided to get married. But in 1990, definitely the best. I think I was very mature then. 92 was my last Olympic Games, so I swam in 6 events and smashed national records, and it was just the best year ever. So just being a mature swimmer. 91 was the games before that, where I won all silver medals, and I also won the Sportsman of the Year. And I think, 91 was also a tough year. I lost my sister. She was 31, so she passed away, my older sister, but left a beautiful girl for us, Stephanie Barrett. So that was a tough year for us, but we held together, just being a strong family. And I wanted to quit, but then I thought, my sister wouldn't want me to do that. So that's when I started training extra hard and went to the 92 Olympics and just smashed it. So, and thinking, okay, I think I need to hang my goggles up, and Shane and I were getting pretty serious. So 92 came back from the Olympics. We got engaged, and 94 we got married. 94 was a tough year. My dad died, age of 53, so he was really young as well. I gave birth to my eldest, and I had to form a new club because the club I was with they didn't want me. So I just thought, oh, okay, it doesn't really matter. So, I mean, that's getting into detail, which is probably not a good thing to talk about. So by 95, Jack was 21, and, you know, I was happy. Formed a new club down at USP Tritons, it was called, and that was 95. 96, I went to the first Olympics as a coach to Sharon Pickering, and Carl went along as well with his coach. So that was my first outing as a coach to a major competition. 97, my daughter was born, and yeah, so, you know, I think the 90s was really a special era for me, decade, and it was just, yeah, so lots happened in 1990 when you think about it. And, you know, end of 1990, my youngest was born, Sean, in 2000. So, yeah, I had a family, a young family, and I just carried on doing what I loved, which was coaching. And, you know, again, my husband supported me through it all. So, yeah. My best advice from my father is seeing is believing, and you know, just don't, like, if someone tells you a story, don't believe it straight away until you actually see it for yourself. Because I remember we used to run away to the nightclub. It used to be Lucky Eddie's before, and my dad used to hear it from his grog friends, and he always used to say, when I see it, then I'll believe it. So that's what I've always remembered is, you know, when you see it, you believe it, and don't basically. And he just taught me not to judge people, because you wouldn't want to be judged as well. Yeah, my dad had a lot of advice, some crazy ones. Yeah, and my mother-in-law always says, you do a job, do it properly. So, I mean, these are all advice that I got when I was growing up, even to today. So, yeah, just life advice, you know. It's not so much my swimming career. I had lots of advice with that, you know, swim hard, do this and that, but just whatever you've taught in life definitely will reflect what you do as a sporting person, or, you know, helps you be tougher, I suppose. Definitely a happy coach, although sometimes I can be really, well, they think I'm grumpy. It's just I'm trying to have that tough. There's a phrase that some of the older swimmers, you know, with my face, because it can look like it's grumpy, but I'm just trying to be strict. But definitely, I'd like to be known as someone who's taught a lot of kids how to swim, and because, you know, it's a life, it's a you know, something that I think is very important to know, even if you're not going to be a competitive swimmer, just a life skill, and just something that I've done good for the community, and just, yeah, known to be just someone who's done a lot in, you know, just helping with the community and with the swimming fraternity, and yeah, so. Well, lately, lots of Netflix, Prime movies. So downtime, I really like to just, you know, in the mornings, if I'd finish my exercise, I just like to just sit and just drink coffee, and just, I'm not one to go out and have coffee or lunches or functions. I'm very homely, and I think I've always been like that. I used to avoid going to places if I was invited. People have given up inviting me, because it's not that I'm antisocial, but I just really like to stay home. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. But when I do go out, I make the most of it. Downtime, definitely, I like to watch movies and series, and in the evening, like right now, we sit down, have a beer or a wine with my husband and talk about the day. So that's my downtime, is just, yeah, just being at home. Well, I really love Lionel Richie, so it's got to be Deep River Woman. It's got a bit of a country beat to it, so Cheyenne Rover will love that, because she's a country freak. country music freak. So yeah, and yeah, I just love Lionel Rich, all his songs. But that song gets me. I put it loud in the car when I'm driving, and just sing like crazy. So yeah, I really like that song. Probably Jerry Tuwai. I think he's the most humble guy. You know, like I went to the Olympics, 2 Olympics with him, and he's just so reserved, and you know, like he will always say hi to you, and I don't know, he's just got that spirit about him. There's so many, like even Sarevi, I got to know him, but it's really funny how you just, yeah, I would think Jerry Tuwai, he used to come to the pool and always come and say hello when I'm coaching. So what would I cook him? Can I order? No. I don't know, probably try and cook some Fijian food, although maybe a lasagna, because it's probably something, you know, it's different. Yeah, so lasagna and salad, and see if he likes that. Definitely, you always hear people say work hard and keep doing this and that, because I know it's getting tougher as the years go by, especially swimming competitively. But definitely enjoy what you're doing, and do it for yourself. You know, the parents are there to support, although you have some parents who are really pushy, but you know, just make sure that you enjoy what you're doing and really learn as much as you can, the techniques and everything, and learn how to train properly, because when you get to a higher level, it'll be much easier. But you really have to enjoy, and yeah, and just, I think that it's all about enjoying what you're doing, and then you definitely succeed. Hi, I'm Sharon Smith on The Pulse with Andhy Blake.
Former Golden Girl of the Pool Olympian Sharon Pickering Smith giving us an insight into her personal and swimming career. She has represented Fiji in 3 Olympic Games and competed in up to 5 events at each Games. Impressive stuff. Time for a short break. Up next, it's my Eat, Stay, Love postcard from Golden Point Resort in Rakiraki. You are watching The Pulse.
The Pulse with Andhy Blake, presented by Coca-Cola in association with BSP Life and supported by Fiji Link, Fiji Airways and Captain Cook Cruises Fiji.
It's not hard to see why Rakiraki's Golden Point Resort is a popular destination. The sunshine, breathtaking views, blue water and the widest, tastiest menu selection in the country. If you're after delicious food and that perfect relaxation, then look no further. It's Arnayandra from Fiji's Sun Coast. hours away from Nandi International Airport and along the scenic Kings Highway is Golden Point Resort. Golden Point's shimmering lagoon is the centerpiece of the resort. The restaurant and outdoor lounge is suspended over it and nearly every room faces it. One of the many attractions of the resort is the water views. Your views are garnished by the famous golden sunshine of the Ra province, and the reason why these parts are often referred to as Fiji's Sun Coast. You are guaranteed gorgeous sunshine almost all year round. The 33 resort rooms range from standard to family and executive, or large groups can opt for the sleeping rooms with stellar views of the sea. Family and standard rooms have their own outdoor lounging areas, while the executive rooms are complete with its own private balconies. After a day spent of frolicking in the sea, you can cool off in the resort pool before sitting down to enjoy a tasty meal in the outdoor dining area. The meals are prepared fresh, and my favorites are the tasty seafood and authentic Lebanese cuisine that is especially prepared by the resort's director, Rachel Mishra.
Yes, as you can see, we have an array of fresh seafood on this plate. We've got the fresh fish, which is sourced by us. We go out fishing 2 to 3 times a week for the resort. Yeah. We have the lobster in Mornay and the chili crabs, which are usually sourced from the divers across from us on Malacca Island, and the prawns and the calamari, and we have cassava fresh from our farm. Right. Well, I'm very proud to say that I do have a wide range of Lebanese dishes that I prepare here, which you can pre-order. You can always ring and let me know how many of you would like to come to dine for the Lebanese food, and I'm very happy to prepare and to host you for the Lebanese feast. We do have a variety of vegan, meat, seafood in the Lebanese feast that we do, and all depends on how many people the cost would be. Right. Yes.
The tasty meals that are prepared using only the best and freshest ingredients is the jewel in the resort's crown. You are always guaranteed finger-licking good meals, including a great selection of cocktails from the bar. Book into Rakiraki's Golden Point Resort and enjoy some of the best attractions on offer in Fiji's Sun Coast. Located on Nathilau Point and down the Kings Highway, this is your ultimate relaxing destination. Golden Point Resort is by far the best kept secret of the Ra province. Well, up until now. You can enjoy a tasty food experience, relax in one of the comfortable rooms, or hang out poolside, dip your feet in water, and enjoy a tasty fruit mocktail made from the freshest and sweetest fruits in the Ra province, while soaking in all the spectacular views on offer. Cheers!
The Pulse with Andhy Blake, presented by Coca-Cola in association with BSP Life and supported by Fiji Link, Fiji Airways and Captain Cook Cruises Fiji.
Bula, welcome back to The Pulse. I trust you are enjoying the show this evening. Before the break, our Eat, Stay, Love postcard in Golden Point Resort, one of my favorite resorts in Rakiraki in the Ra province. Now let's head over to Mba and check in with Bavish Sweets, famous for their fresh and tasty treats, and our profile for our homegrown segment this week. Check it out. Ajahn Kumar is the mastermind behind the infamous Bavish Sweets, located in Tavarau, about 10 minutes outside of Mba town, and down the scenic Kings Highway towards the sugar city of Lautoka. The sweets business began some 20 years ago and today operates with a total of 10 staff. The sweets shop is famous for their tasty treats, and the jalebis is by far the best tasting I've ever eaten in Fiji.
Almost about 20 years I have been doing the business of these sweets. But before in Tavarau, I was in Lautoka town for about 2 to 3 years or 5 years like that. Then after that I came to Tavarau just after my parents were very sick, and it was very hard for me from here to Lautoka to cater my sweets, because that was a very hard time, because I didn't have any transport at that time. So when I cater the sweets to the town, I have to pay about $20 to $25 for one way to Lautoka, and in the afternoon when I close, I have to bring all the things. Then again I have to pay $25. That was about $50 a day. That's why I thought it's better I move to my area in Tavarau. Well, I have got some varieties, and on these varieties you can see I have got jalebi, a very famous product of our sweets. Most of the people, they like our jalebi. We have got gulab jamun, we have got bundi laddu, kala peda, white peda, varieties of burfis. They are made of milk, pure milk, coconut burfi, suji laddu, khaja. In snacks we have got some bhajia, bara, samosa, and some savories just like fine so, a very thin fine so we have got also. Most of the customers prefer to buy this one because this is very tasty one. And we have got mixed bean and plain bean, and so some others. Well, when I started my business, for that time, me, my wife, my mother-in-law, some of my brother-in-laws, my wife's brothers, they were helping us to make the sweets. One of my wife's brother was Neeraj and Atis, and so many. After that, then when the business tried to establish, then we had to bring some laborers. And at the moment, I have got about 10 laborers who are working for my company. Well, I never thought of that there will be a big struggling problem when last year COVID-19 coming, and through that pandemic we were suffering a lot. Even my staff, they were suffering a lot because there was a lockdown from the Teidam Lautoka. So most of the customers cannot come. The people who were in Ba, they can only come, but when they don't go to Lautoka, they even don't buy the sweets, because that was not much gathering and no more parties and weddings at that time. So it was very hard to survive with my family. It was so struggling time. Even I had to close my business for about 3 weeks. 21 days I think I closed my business when last year there was a lockdown for the COVID-19. But I appreciate because whole of the world and the country was suffering through that. So I praise the God that everything comes in a good faith for everyone in future. But in future maybe we will have one grocery shop, one fast food, and some more others just like bakery, hardware. If everything is okay, and through all my customers and all the people of the country, with their blessing, I think I'm gonna cope with everything I want to do. Make something good that customers like it. Whichever business you do, you should be with very energetic system. It should be that you should be truthful to your customers. If anything is wrong, if they come to you, they tell us that there is a problem with your product, you should recognize that yes, we have got, and we should make more good products, more sufficient supply of products to our customers. So whichever business we do, our customers will be happy, and even the God blessings, we can go ahead.
In our Culture Explained segment this week, we profile these sacred islands in the Mamanucas, which is believed to be the birthplace of Fijian culture. And you can visit this idyllic island on Captain Cook's 3-night cruise to the Azores and Mamanuca Islands. The Rakiraki Sacred Islands are situated to the northwest of the Mamanuca Islands and south of the Azores Islands. Fiji had no written language prior to contact with Europeans, and the country's history is based on legends that have been passed down from generation to generation. For the villagers of Tavua who guard and protect the sacred islands, the culture and history of Fiji began with the arrival of Rongovaka, a great war canoe carrying the first Fijians, Tui Narevurevu and his people, to the islands of Fiji. They landed on the largest of a small group of islands, known today as the Rakiraki Sacred Island. 2 of the islands are named after parts of the canoe, Nairavi ni Uli, that translates to steering orak, and Musumusu ni Karikari, or kata for spar boom. Tuinarevurevu settled on the largest of the islands, Vanolevu, and built his fortress, the remains of which can still be seen today at the site of the sacred village. Vanolevu is the site of the sacred caves, which became the center of ceremonies and rituals of the chief priest. Regarded as the birthplace of Fijian culture, the Rakiraki Islands have remained sacred, and all visitors pay respect by presenting yangona or kava at the sacred caves. Tongan missionaries arrived here in the early 1800s, and since they did not follow the protocol, they were taken into caves and were never heard of again. And that wraps the Pulse this week. I trust you enjoyed our show, my Talanoa with Sharon Pickering Smith, our Eat, Stay, Love postcard on Golden Point Resort, and SME Baby Sweets. I look forward to your company again next week, right here on my TV. For comments and questions, send me a message via our Facebook page, The Pulse with Andhy Blake. Remember to like our page and give this video a big thumbs up. You can also view our previous episodes via our MyTV YouTube channel. subscribe to our channel and click the bell button to get notifications for every new videos we load up. And if you're planning to fly with Fiji Airways, be sure to check out our in-flight content when you travel. Enjoy the rest of your evening and stay safe. Nisamo Demanda.
You feel it, I feel it, it's in the pulse. It's in the pulse. It's in the pulse.
The Pulse with Andhy Blake, presented by Coca-Cola in association with BSP Life and supported by Fiji Link, Fiji Airways and Captain Cook Cruises Fiji.